The highest viewed video on my channel is my 4141 mastery of testing your tactics. And in that video, it was a tactic that I created specifically for lower league, and it was proven to get you out of lower league divisions without making any transfers. Now, on the comment to that video, one of my wonderful subscribers has mentioned that they made their own tweak to it to make it slightly more powerful. Now, what I've done is I've taken the tweaks from the comment, I've installed it into a new tactic called a 4141 remaster. And I've tested it with 3 more teams. We've gone with Newcastle, we've gone with Hoffenheim, and we've gone with Mallorca. Now, hit that intro and let's get into the episode. Now, as always, with the tactic testing, I'll go on holiday for the whole season with the assistant manager using the tactic that we are currently testing. The transfer window will be disabled in the first window, and also we'll have no badges and no past experience as well. Now, if you like the video, please let me know down below for any of the tactics that you are testing out yourself. Subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, if you haven't already, go out and check out the tactic of the 4141 mastery for lower league divisions. It is, on my channel, the best lower league tactic. Now, there's been a lot of comments on here saying about how good it is and how good it's worked for other users as well. So, 194 games, 134 of them, insane results, best tactic I've used so far. So it is a very strong tactic going forward, but the one thing that did kind of come into mind was best tactic. I used it with a small modification and won the league straight from non-league south to the championship without any problem. So I asked kind of what the modifications were, and it was so no focus on wing play, no run at the defence, roll it out, distribute to centre back and fullbacks, complete wing back on support, cross more often, balanced mentality. Then modify the tactic because after a few of the first matches, they could see the tactic can be good in possession as well. So if we kind of get into the tactic, let's have an overview of what we've changed. Now, with the 4141 remastered, we've kind of gone to a balanced mentality with this one. Now in possession, standard attacking width, pass into play with a play out of the defence as well, shorter passing directness and a higher tempo here. Low crosses in the final third, but everything else in instruction wise is unticked. Now in transition, counter press and counter, distribute to the fullbacks and centre backs and roll it out, just like the comments advised. Out of possession, high press line of engagement with a high defensive line as well, prevent short goalkeeper distribution and trigger press much more often. So it is a balanced mentality. So now looking at the positions and player instructions, so for the 4141 remastered, sweeper keeper on defend, instructions are going to be tackle harder, shorter passing, and passing risks hasn't been selected there. 2 complete wing backs again, however on the left hand side it is on support, and it's going to be triggered press as balanced, tackle harder, stay wider and get further forward, shorter passing, cross more often, shoot less often as well, and on the right hand side complete wing back on attack. With the instructions, it's going to be balanced as well, tackle harder, get further forward and stay wider, shorter passing, cross more often and shoot less often. 2 ball playing defenders as with the last one, so trigger press less often, tackle harder, shorter passing but dribble more as well there. So in midfield now, instead of an anchor, we have a ball winning midfielder on defend, balanced trigger press and shorter passing as well. Nothing else has been selected, all the default instructions are there. 2 inside forwards as well. These hasn't kind of changed from the 4141 mastery. So trigger press less often with tackle harder, get further forward and sit narrow as well. Cut inside with the ball, shorter passing and everything else as default for an inverted forward or inside forward on attack. Now differences here, we have an advanced playmaker on attack. Instructions are trigger press less often and shorter passing, so the default instructions for that one. And still got the attacking midfielder on attack as well, so trigger press less often, get further forward when having the ball, shorter passing, everything else on default. And then lastly, we've changed it to a complete forward on attack, trigger press less often, tackle harder, shorter passing and hold up the ball, and everything else is default. Now we're on the page for Newcastle, so let's get into the first test for today. Now media prediction is to finish 5th with Newcastle United. I don't seem to ever have any good tactics testing with this. Whenever I've tested other tactics, I've always seemed to manage to get sacked. Newcastle and Brighton, there seems to be quite kind of a poison chalice in this one. So We've got the assistant manager to use our tactics going forward, and we're going to sim on holiday until the 27th of May, and let's see how we get on. Media prediction was 5th, and we have finished 5th as well. Although we're 1 point away from 4th, that's a little bit disappointing. 22 games won, 5 drawn, and 11 losses. And looking at kind of the player stats for the league as well, we're not involved in the top 3 here. Average rating, we're not involved in the top 3 either, nor for assists, player of the matches, or clean sheets. But let's see how we got on as a team. So most goals for, we actually scored the 3rd most amount of goals in the league with 77, 5 coming from corners. Now if you look at Manchester United with 80, and they got 10 more corner goals than us, and Manchester City with 81 with 6 more corner goals than us. Now obviously a corner routine on this would make it kind of perform a lot better as well, but I don't have any of those kind of loaded in with this tactic. Most shots for Newcastle, 4th, 481, so we're in the top 5 here going forward. Fewest shots against, 8th on the list with 352. Best pass completion and possession wise, it's not a possession based formation, so it won't be having any of these on there. Most tackles won, not involved there. Most dribbles, not involved either. Most clean sheets, 5th with 15 across the season, and fewest conceded, joint 6 with 43. Now, we have a look at the pass positions for Newcastle going forward. A little bit of a rocky start looking at this. We dropped down to 18th, but then a steady rise up to the kind of upper echelon of the Premier League. We kind of stayed around about 7th, 6th, and 5th. Highs of, was that 3rd there? Highs of 3rd, but then yeah, kind of sticking around the 5th position mark. So a pretty solid season, to be fair, with Newcastle, especially after all the other testing I've done where I seem to kind of get the sack. Now, other competitions view as well, if we have a look. In the Champions League, we never qualified from our group, which a little bit disappointing there, but went into the Europa League and we're actually knocked out in the semi-final to Liverpool, who faced Bayern Munich in the final. So that's, yeah, a very strong Europa League looking at this. Bayern facing Leipzig and ourselves facing Liverpool as well. So English FA Cup, we're knocked out in the semi-final to Liverpool, who lost to Manchester City in the final. And in the Carabao Cup, we were knocked out in the semi-final to Tottenham Hotspur, who lost to Chelsea. So very interesting reading going through into there. Now, if we have a look at the schedule going forward, obviously we know that we didn't do quite well in the Champions League, but we'll have a look at the Premier Division and kind of see how we fared in that one. Now, a couple of bad losses to start off against Chelsea and Aston Villa, but then a good run, unbeaten in the next 5 games against Sheffield United, Brentford, a big win against Tottenham there, 5-0, which is nice to see. And there's some other big wins as well. So 4-0 against Manchester United, 4-0 against Burnley, a couple of 3-0s there as well against Chelsea, a 5-0 against Luton. But yeah, a little bit of inconsistency, kind of few too many draws for my liking here as well. But if we have a look at how kind of the squad did fare as well. So Alexander Isak, top goal scorer, 30 goals and 6 assists across the season. Callum Wilson with 19 goals and 3. Anthony Gordon, very good season, 18 and 8. With Joe Linton with 14 and 6. Elliot Anderson, a fantastic season there, Elliot Anderson. Brilliant stuff, 11 and 11. But if we have a look around, like Almiron got 9, Barnes got 9. You know, a lot of goals has been scored in this season. Now, we've finished with Newcastle. Let's move on to Hoffenheim and see how we get on in the Bundesliga. So now we are with the Hoffenheim tactic. Now their media prediction is to finish in 8th position. Let's see how we get on with this. As we can see, the 4-1-4-1 remastered has been loaded in. Now, the 20th of May seems to be the holiday that I like to come back on in Germany, because it seems to be that the games kind of finish earlier on in the season. So 20th of May, I'll see you then. And what a shocking result that is. 2nd in the league. Media prediction was to finish in 8th place. Yeah, with 15 points behind Bayern Munich, but we haven't made a single transfer with this Hoffenheim team. 22 wins, 4 draws, and 8 losses. Bayern lost 1 in the whole season. Was it to us? No, it was to Frankfurt. So have a look at how our players did perform in the league. Wout Weghorst was 3rd with 21 goals in the Bundesliga. We're not involved in any average rating, but Marco John with 9 assists coming in 3rd in the Bundesliga. Yellow cards, I'm kind of hiding it there for good reason. 2 of our players are in the top 3 there. So if we have a look at how our team did perform overall, we scored the most goals in the Bundesliga with 76, 9 coming from corners. I mean, that's 10 more than Bayern managed, and they won the league there. Most shots for, 402, so 4th in the top 8 there. Fewest against, maybe this is kind of where we were let down, but Hoffenheim, it's not a powerhouse team in Germany, so conceded quite a few shots against us there. Best pass completion, we're not involved there, nor in the most possession either. Most tackles, we're not there either, but we're 8th in dribbles made with 457 across the season. Most clean sheets, we're not there, and fewest conceded, we're not there as well. So yeah, interesting reading to see, but 2nd place, how did we kind of get there? Started off in 5th with a great victory over Freiburg, 2-1, up into 3rd, and we actually was leading in the Bundesliga for 3 kind of game weeks here, dropping down into 2nd and a little blip into 4th, but consistently in 2nd from game week 22. Now if we have a look at the other competitions as well, DFB Pokal were knocked out in the 3rd round by Fortuna Düsseldorf. And if we have a look at our schedule going forward as well with the Bundesliga, let's see kind of how we did fare against the teams in there. And we didn't lose a game until kind of, what's that, 10 games in, where we lost 1-0 to Augsburg, but some good victories, a 5-4 against Heidenheim, a 5-1 against Stuttgart. Yeah, it wasn't actually too many losses, but only 4 draws across the season, which is scary. Lost 3-1 to Bayern, 3-0 to Leipzig towards the end, but yeah, very strong performance from this team going into it. Now if we look at Weghorst with 22 goals and 6 assists, Marius Butler with 10 goals and 5 assists, and then Schmal with 7 goals and 4. So the fact that we didn't really score that many and to finish in 2nd in the Bundesliga is a fantastic achievement. Now let's move to La Liga with Mallorca and we'll see how we get on. Last test for the episode, Mallorca in La Liga, their media prediction is to finish in 15th place. Let's see how we get on with them. Now the reason I chose kind of the mid-league, kind of mid-table teams is because anyone can create a tactic for the elite teams and then win the division, but I kind of wanted to show how good this tactic was with kind of lower league teams as well. So we'll come back on the 27th of May and let's see how Mallorca get on. And now, just like the Hoffenheim result, a massive overachievement for us. We finished 6th in La Liga, finishing in the Europa League spots as well. So that's a +9 from our media prediction. Now, don't forget, we didn't make any transfers with this. We have just gone on holiday. We got 19 wins, 7 draws, and 12 losses, a +12 goal difference, and 64 points as well. Now, comfortably in 6th place as well, because Girona are 10 points behind us with 54. And we are 8 points away from Champions League spaces as well with Real Sociedad. So with the goals, Vedat Miriki has got 24 goals in La Liga with this kind of tactic going forward. Danny Rodriguez with 12 assists across the league as well, which is fantastic to see. Pablo Maffeo, can't see the yellow cards, but he's the naughtiest boy in the league with 11 yellows. And if you have a look at how the team kind of performed across the season as well, so most goals for Mallorca, 71 goals, 8 from corners, 3rd in the league, fantastic stuff. Most shots for, 4th with this one, 433. Fewest shots against, yeah, we had quite a leaky defence by the looks of it. Best pass completion and most possession, we're not involved there. Most tackles won, not in that one either. Most dribbles, we're not involved. Clean sheets and fewest conceded, as you can imagine. We're a team predicted to finish in 15th place, so our defence probably isn't the greatest, but we did finish in 6th. And how did we get on? So a strong start, going up into 7th place, although after 3 or 4 games we did drop down unfortunately into 16th, but then a strong kind of upward trajectory there into 8th, 7th, and then finally kind of massively in 6th place from game week 24. We weren't to be budged from there, so fantastic achievement all round. In other competitions, we're knocked out in the 3rd round of the Spanish Cup to Granada, and if we have a look at the schedule for La Liga as well, how did we fare against Real Madrid and against Barcelona? So we lost against Real Madrid 3-2, and we lost against Barcelona 5-0. Not what you'd expect, but some good wins here as well. So 4-0 against Vigo, a 3-1 against Getafe, a 4-1 against Alaves. Yeah, to be fair, I'm quite shocked that we did finish in 6th place. I'm quite happy as well. They're a good team, Mallorca, and obviously Vedat Mariki, 3rd in the league with goals scored as well. We then followed up with a 1-1 draw against Barcelona and a 1-1 draw against Real Madrid. So we kind of grew into the season as we did go forward. And then speaking of Mariki, he got 25 goals and 2 assists across the season for us. And then Kyle Larin with 11 goals and 6. And then a couple of under 10s as well. So Endai with 8 and Morlanes with 7. So there you go. Some good results with the teams with the updated tactic as well. Thank you very much for the comment as well, saying about what to do to change around as well. If you have any more tactics that you want me to test, please let me know down below. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe. If you download the tactic as well, let me know how you get on. But for now, I'll see you in another episode of Testing Your Tactics. I'll see you then.